Hello students, welcome back for the mathematics class. I'm your mathematics teacher from AITM Bhatkal. This mathematics class is for the third semester students with the subject code 18MAT31. Okay, this is my first class on this subject. Okay, so as usual, you people have 5 modules, and I would like to give a small introduction on each of the module. That is module 1, as you see in this on your screen. The module 1, it consists of Laplace transform and inverse Laplace transform. You will be learning what are Laplace transform here, how do you take Laplace transform, as well as you will learn inverse Laplace transform here, and how do you use this in your engineering. You will be learning about it. Okay, then you in module 2 you will be learning Fourier series, okay, and its application in your engineering subjects. Similarly, in module 3 you will be learning Fourier transforms and Z transforms. Okay, after that in module 4 it is but the entire set of calculations, that is numerical solution. As the name suggests, you have only the numerical calculations to do here in this module. You people have only 4 to 5 methods to learn how to work with the first order differential equations, okay, ordinary differential equations. How do you solve it numerically? Okay, in module 5 it is but the continuation of the module 4. Okay, that is, you will be learning the numerical solution of a second order ODE and the calculus of variations. Okay, to start with, I would like to start with the first module, that is Laplace transform and inverse Laplace transform. Let's see what are Laplace transforms. Laplace transform is a transform. It's an integral transform that converts the real valued function to a complex valued function. Okay, so I can consider any function, say f of t, okay, where t is a real valued function. If I apply Laplace transform to it, that is, I denote the Laplace transform by capital L. If I apply Laplace transform to this f of t, that is, f of t is a real valued function, okay, and it is defined, this t, that is one condition for this variable t should be always greater than 0. Okay, it should be defined for, as I told you, for all the positive values of t, it can be defined. So the Laplace transform of such a function, it's going to be, it's nothing but an integral transform which transforms this f of t to a complex valued function, say f of s. S can be a complex variable here. It's okay, it transforms, yes, to a complex variable, a function to a complex variable. Okay, so I would like to denote this by f bar of s. So same f, it shouldn't be a problem for you. Okay, so there is one basic function f of t to which I will apply this f of t is a real valued function and it is defined for all t greater than 0. Then I apply Laplace transform to this. I will result in a function which is going to be a complex valued function, say f bar of s. So let us understand in actual definition and understand how do you take the Laplace transform and how we define as an integral, okay, for this Laplace transform. Let's see. So the definition is as written here. The Laplace transform, suppose you are having a real valued function, say f of t. If f of t is a real valued function defined for all t greater than 0, that is what I told you, for each value of t greater than 0, if your function f of t is well defined, then the Laplace transform of f of t, L of f of t, it is written like this. So then the Laplace transform of f of t is denoted and is defined to be L of f of t to be equal to, it is equal to, just note here, it is integration from 0 to infinity e to the power minus st, the same f of t which you had written on the left hand side, that is f of t appearing over here, dt. Call this as equation 1. Okay, see here, this complete integral is your Laplace transform of the given f of t. Okay, and as you see, it's a definite integral from the limits 0 to infinity, is it? So it's a definite integral from the limit from 0 to infinity. And what is your parameter s here? It is the parameter s, it can be real or it can be complex. So not always you will end up with a complex valued function. You may end up with a real valued function also at sometimes. Okay, so now that is And also, since it is a definite integral, however you will be substituting, and see here you are integrating with respect to t here, and the limits for t are defined from 0 to infinity. On integrating this integral, you end up with a function of s, is it not? Because however you will be substituting for t as 0 and t as infinity at the end of your solution. Okay, when you do the substitutions for t as 0 and infinity, there will be no more t there in that function. So you will be only ending up with the function of s. So why we call, on integrating this equation 1, we end up with a function of s. And there is one more condition, this integral should exist. It should be existing. Okay, so hence we can write this, and since it is ending up with a function of s, so we can write this equation 1 to be in this form, L of f of t to be equal to f bar of s. I would like to call this as equation 2. Now equivalently, I can rewrite the same equation 2 as taking that L to the left hand side. Look at this. So f of t to be L inverse of f bar of s. So take this L to the left hand side, you get, so this is going to be your inverse Laplace transform. So let me write here, is called, we can call this as equation 3. So this is called the inverse Laplace transform. Okay, inverse Laplace transform. So this is all about the basic definition of the Laplace transform. So let us see a few examples with a small step-by-step solution, so that you will clearly understand how do you take the Laplace transform of any real valued function. Okay. So here is one problem I have brought for you, that is, find the Laplace transform of f of t. It is defined to be 0 in the interval 0 to 1. If t is in the interval 0 to 1, it is defined to be 0. And it is t when t is in between 1 to 2. And again it is 0 when t is greater than or equal to 2. Okay. Let us find the Laplace transform of such a function. Okay. Let's see. So basically, let us start with the basic definition of the Laplace transform. So the Laplace transform, that is L of f of t, the Laplace transform of any function f of t is defined to be denoted by L of f of t, and it is defined to be equal to, yes, we had written in the definition, it is integration from 0 to infinity e to the power minus st f of t dt. Okay, but your function f of t is not defined in one single way throughout the interval from 0 to infinity. It is defined in 3 different ways. Okay, so first it is 0 from the interval 0 to 1. Okay, then it is 1 in the interval 1 to 2, it is t. Then from 2 to infinity, it is again 0. So we will break our integral as per the definition given to us. Okay, so let us break this integral as per the definition given to us. So it will be equal to, let us break it from 0 to 1 first. So integration 0 to 1, because that's the first interval, e to the power minus st f of t dt. I'm not going to write the exact value of f of t over here. I will just rewrite and separate it first. Then plus. The second part will be, we end up, the upper part was 1 over here. Then from 1 to 2 it was t. So integration from 1 to 2 e to the power minus st f of t dt. So write f of t dt. Then plus under integral sign. Now last part was 2, and then for t greater than or equal to 2 it was 0. So it was 2 to infinity. I can end up here. So this complete interval 0 to infinity, I can split it according to the definition given to us in the question. Okay. So this is what we can do. Okay. Yes. Now as per the given definition, we'll put the values of f of t over here. Okay. Now see, in the interval 0 to 1, the function value is 0 here. Right. So no matter what is e to power minus st, 0 into e to power minus st, it becomes 0. 0 integral of a definite integral of 0 is again 0. So this part will turn to 0. I need not substitute anything here, because you see here f of t is taking value 0 in the interval 0 to 1. Okay, so this part becomes 0 because 0 into e to power minus st is 0. Okay, definite integral of 0 is 0. Okay, plus integration from 1 to 2 e to power minus st. Here the value of f of t is t. In the interval 0 to 1 to 2, it's taking the value 1. So it becomes, t. So it becomes t here, okay, in place of f of t dt. Again, As in the previous case, this part also turns to 0 because in this part of the interval, again the functional value is 0, so it is 0. Now let us only work for the second part, second integral over here. So it is integration 1 to 2 e to power minus st t dt. You have to integrate this by parts, okay? You have to integrate this by parts, or you can use Bernoulli's rule over here. It will be very simple and very easy to work, okay? See here, this is equal to, okay? So now tell me, how many times you can integrate e to power minus st? You can integrate it as many as times you want, right? Similarly, you can integrate t as many as times you want, right? Now, how many times you can differentiate e to power minus st? Tell me. Yes, it will be, you can differentiate it as many as number of times, because derivative of e to power x is e to power x. You take it any number of derivatives, you can differentiate it infinite times, okay? Then also the value for e to power minus x derivative will be e to power x only, okay? But how many times you can differentiate t? T you can differentiate only once. Yes, derivative of t is 1, then afterwards derivative of 1 becomes 0. Only 2 times, okay? So that is, this it vanishes after certain number of derivatives, is it not? So we will treat this as our first function and this as our second function, okay? So this is the way you can identify your first function and second, or you can even follow the Eilert formula. I hope you will have remembered all this. You will have learned this in second year and all that. So you can even refer that Eilert formula also. Now, as I told you how I selected my u and v, the first function and the second function. And then let us learn what is Bernoulli's rule here. Okay. So in Bernoulli's rule, I'll just write here it in separate corner. Just see here. Suppose you are having the two functions u and v, both are the functions of x, and you are integrating with respect to x over here. So Bernoulli's rule says that you can write it as u integration of v, u as it is, first function as it is, integration of v, u as it is, integration of v, minus derivative of u, that is u dash, again integration of integration v, that is double integration of v, okay? Then you have written plus minus here, it becomes plus here, okay? Next, again the derivative of u dash, it becomes u double dash. Again the third integral of v, that is integration of v. Again you have written my plus here, now it becomes alternatively you will get plus and minus sign. So first it was plus here, then minus, then plus, then again minus here. Now the third derivative of u triple dash, okay? Now fourth integral of v, okay, plus it continues, okay? Yes, it continues. So I am going to use this law, Bernoulli's law, to integrate this. It will be very simple, okay? Or you can use integration by parts. It's very simple. But however, you will be using this in your Fourier series. So I am going to, I'll be introducing there in detail about it. But you can use it here also, so as to reduce most of your calculations. Okay, so now your u, as I told you, this is going to be your u. This is going to be your v. Because why this is u? Because this will vanish after certain number of derivatives. Because u is been considered to be the derivatives here. Just see. Right? So, you select your u in such a way that it should vanish after certain number of derivatives. So that you should not get an extensive expression there. Okay? So now, you are going to keep your t as it is. That is your u as it is. Integration of v. What is integration of e to power minus st? It is e to power minus st divided by minus s. This is your first part. With limits from 0 to, sorry, it's not 0 to infinity, it is 1 to 2 here. So 1 to 2, okay, minus derivative of u. What is derivative of u? It is derivative of t. Derivative of t is 1, is it? Now integration of, double integration of v. So you have already integrated v once here, right? So again one you integrate this, the same, whatever you have written here, we know this thing. See, sorry, here it is minus s. Okay. See here, whatever you have written here in this bracket, that is this bracket, you are going to integrate once again. So what is its integration? It is e to power minus st divided by minus of minus plus s square you get. Is it not? Because you get first minus s, you keep it as it is, e to power minus st again divided by minus s. Minus s into minus s plus s square with limits from 1 to 2. Now further when you write, the derivative of 1 becomes 0 here, plus 0. So I did not do 0 into anything is again 0. I did not again write further derivatives or expression as following this. You can stop it here itself. Now all you need to do is substitute the upper and lower part. Okay, if you put the upper part, you get 2 times, you put t as 2, so 2 times e to power minus 2s divided by minus s. This is the upper limit minus the lower limit. What is the lower limit? T is equal to 1. So it will be 1 into e to power minus s divided by minus s. Okay, this is the solution for the first bracket minus the solution for the second bracket. Put t as t as 2. So it will be e to the power minus 2s divided by s square minus e to the power minus s divided by t as 1. So it becomes s square in the denominator again. I hope this is simple and easy. So now this is again equal to, I want to take this minus sign and multiply and simplify it further. So it will be what? Minus of minus becomes plus. So I want to write the first positive term, e to power minus s divided by s minus this minus sign comes up, it becomes minus here, minus 2 times e to power minus 2s divided by s. This is one bracket. Now you can multiply this minus sign inside, it becomes plus. Okay, take this minus sign inside, it becomes plus, and this becomes plus here, e to power minus s divided by s square minus e to power minus 2s divided by s square. This is the complete solution for your problem. I hope this is clear to you, and if you do have any doubts in that, you can ask me in our WhatsApp group. Okay, with this I would like to conclude my first session. In my coming sessions, I will continue with some more problems, interesting problems on Laplace transform. This was just for introduction. This was just for how to work with the Laplace transform and how to get the solution. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, I'll continue in my next session. Thank you.